As if the flooding wasn't bad enough, then more cyclones rolled in, twin systems aimed at the north of the state.
So here we go again. Cyclone Anthony moved onto the mainland earlier than expected. Another cyclone crosses the Queensland coast with another one expected later in the week.
Look at all that wind just rushing straight for us.
Holy crap, man. I'm in the
Cyclone Yasi cut across the coastline of North Queensland at midnight. A Category 5 monster residents have been fearing for days. Overnight, the waiting ended. Buildings were torn apart, huge trees uprooted, debris was flung through the streets by damaging winds.
That's it. I've done the full circuit, and I'll post this up on YouTube just so people can get some kind of impression of what this type of thing is like.
The wind from hell. I've been through Larry, I've been through Winifred, and honestly, I thought we were just going to get picked up and taken away. It was just dreadful. Really, really frightening.
I hid under a mattress.
Tully, the epicentre of North Queensland's devastation. 4,000 people, many of their homes destroyed.
We're all finished in this place. Who knows what we're going to do, eh?
House after house has its roof ripped off. The insides of properties are exposed to the sky. It will take days to cover them all with tarpaulins, a serious problem in a town that's routinely rated the wettest in Australia, a natural disaster of frightening dimensions. Kilometres off Mission Beach, the holiday resort of Dunk Island was thrashed. 109 staff sheltered in a concrete bunker while Yasi tore the island apart. Beachfront bungalows, bars and restaurants have been gutted. The once tropical island paradise, now a wide brown wasteland, the bark stripped from trees.
Some of the worst damage was caused in the small coastal town of Mission Beach. It has a population of 600. Overnight, the area was lashed by winds in excess of 280 kilometres an hour. But the damage to infrastructure is widespread.
For 3 hours after that, we were holding mattresses for the windows, being bounced back to and fro like the worst aeroplane landing you could ever imagine, but going for 3 hours, it was just intense.
The cyclone crossed around the Mission Beach area, and what we've seen is those small communities take the full brunt of this very serious storm system.
No major injuries, but major damage. Homes crumbled, businesses were blasted by debris. 22 properties have severe structural damage.
The marina at Port Hinchinbrook contains some of the best boats in North Queensland. Yasi threw them about like toys in a bath.
When you have a look around at some of the bigger boats, I mean, you can't believe the amount of force it must have taken to get these boats up here.
Just annihilated. It's a disaster.
Dozens of boats were smashed on top of one another. Some ran aground, others were sunk by the incessant pounding waves.
I was looking out with a torch and I could see the boats poking up over the bank, so I had a feeling, but I didn't expect it to be that bad.
In neighbouring Cardwell, the storm surge chewed up the coast, dumping the beach in town.
The actual township looks terrible. It's the sea's eroded right back to the Bruce Highway and into it, and sand up to half a metre deep on the Bruce Highway.
We were in four-wheel drive before to get through the sand. We're going through huge trees that are up on the highway.
Looks like a war zone now, and it'll take a long time to recover, but they're pretty resilient people here.
Cyclone Larry all over again, only bigger. The people of Innisfail thought they may have been lucky. The system had moved to the south, but it rapidly moved back to them. Time to bunker down and hope for the best.
An all-night battering morning couldn't come soon enough, and when it did, Innisfail breathed a sigh of relief.
Not only is the system's better and the information better, but our people are, if you like, somewhat hardened to it.
Fortified after Larry, the damage here wasn't severe. The odd awning smashed, small bits of tin from roofs were scattered in streets, car park coverings were torn.
Townsville in the firing line. After a rough night, a tough morning facing the reality of Yasi's wrath.
Then about 3 o'clock, the roof just decided to leave and go somewhere else. So everything through the house, we got glass and leaves and trees and branches.
Con Brunner was out early to check the damage.
It was bad, this one. The wind, holy moly.
Thousands of trees were torn down, blocking roads. They're calling it the pruning of Townsville, while the city's beaches have been blasted.
And Cairns breathed a sigh of relief. There was no major damage.
It really was great to be able to see that the houses had held firm and that we didn't have that structural damage.
Trees toppled onto a few homes, but no one was hurt. A rare sight on the Esplanade when waves rolled in and came crashing down.
Just to see that's just amazing what nature can do.
Cairns got off lightly in the end, but this little one will always be told the story. Born at an evacuation centre early this morning, a midwife staying there helped deliver her.
Someone suggested Gail. I think Storm for a girl's name, that could work as well.
Yasi, full of so many surprises.
Yasi crossed at low tide, but storm surges still swamped low-lying areas.
Just a bit of a shock, not expecting the surge to come up so quickly.
Cars were caught, homes were soaked.
I seen water rushing down to the backyard and I thought I left the hose on. But no, when I looked at the front, the water's up to my steps.
The wind churned up huge swells. Wave heights of 8 metres were recorded in some areas. The crew on this bulk carrier off Townsville braved the fury of Yasi. The ship was pummeled by the ocean. Its skipper says he was always under control.
These sorts of seas can happen in other places that aren't cyclone prone, so it's just one of those things, I guess.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating, Kay. You put in that much effort and then you come out. I've only come out here today for the first time and it's completely devastated. Hopefully Australians can stand behind us and just put up with the weight. And I know banana prices are probably going to go up, but we're just asking them to bear with us for 6 months or more. And yeah, hopefully we can come back better.
A serious storm system in a year of weather events that Queenslanders will never forget.
It's an extreme circumstance in our country's history for any place to have a rolling set of disasters as we've had. The worst floods in our history across 3/4 of the state, followed by the worst cyclone over a huge area in more than a century.
And as Queensland faces the challenge of recovery and the prospect of more worrying weather, 7 News will continue to keep you up to date.
We want to say thank you to the families in suburbs and towns across the state who opened up their homes and hearts to share their stories. From all the team, thanks for joining us for a look at the flood of 2011.